151 is getting pretty old. It's getting up there in the 2-year mark. It's actually 22 months old. So the question is it going to get a reprint, or is this it? Is this all the 151 we're going to see ever again? Let's talk about that in this video. But hey, before we start, I just want to say, guys, thank you guys so much for the support. You guys are amazing. Honestly, every time you guys like, subscribe, or comment, it means the world to me. And please don't think that because my videos are seeming to get more views lately, that I won't see your comment. Like, that's just not the case. You can say anything and I'll see it in the comments. So thank you guys for the support. But let's begin. Well, 151 has been taking off lately. 151 Elite Trainer boxes are up from about $280 to about the $380 range. So it's about a $100 gain in about the 3-month time period. Booster bundle displays, I mean, these guys, they got so many print waves, but it seemed that Pokemon have held off a bit. So these have been ticking up as well. These used to be about $1,100 as a sealed display, and now I think the cheapest you can get is about $1,500. So they're doing pretty good. They're getting up there. Now here's the thing. You might ask yourself, what's next for 151? Well, is there going to be another reprint? Are they going to do more restocks? What's the go? Well, basically, to keep you updated, they did a Blooming Waters reprint in July. That has come and that has gone. That whole reprint is donezo. There was a restock of 151 mini tins that has come and that has gone, and that is done. Now, they've done constant restocks for poster collections and all these different products. And then, yeah, earlier in this year, they did booster bundles. So the thing about Pokemon that's very interesting is that they generally don't reprint sets after they're about 2 years old. Generally, maybe they'll bring out like 1 or 2 print waves for like small items, like let's just say poster collections or other ancillary products. But generally, the Elite Trainer boxes, the booster bundles, they generally don't cop many reprints. Now, Pokemon also have this habit where they bring out these big collection boxes, being Blooming Waters, when it's near the end of its cycle. So they did the same thing with Crown Zenith, and they've done the same thing with other boxes. And I believe the reason why is because they're offloading packs. And I don't know, it must be like, I'm sure there's a good reason towards why, like there's more of an in-depth reason, but there seems to be a bit of a correlation to when they make those big premium collection boxes, then they're really finishing up with that set. So here's the thing about 151, right? Pokemon are so busy. They have so many things to worry about. They have new sets to worry about making. They have the Mega Evolution set they've got to print. They've got all these different sets. They've got Journey Together, Surging Sparks, Prismatic Evolutions, Destined Rivals, Black Ball, White Flare, all these sets. They have so many things they've got to reprint. Now, here's the thing. What I believe Pokemon are going to do is I believe they're going to go, all right, you know what? We're going to hang the coat for 151 and we're going to focus on these other sets. Now, what you'll see happen is, here's the thing. People don't realize that Pokemon they can't just flick a switch and then reprint a set. They can't just look at 151 and go, all that 151 stock we make sells out. You know what? 10x to 151 stock. Like, they can't do that. They can't go, all right, we sold 10,000 units, make 1 million. Like, they can't just do that. It's not as simple as flicking a switch, right? So the thing is that Pokemon have very limited printers that they have to make these cards, and they have these factories. So the thing is, what's probably going to happen is once 151 is done, all these other sets are going to hit MSRP. I reckon Surging Sparks, I reckon Destined Rivals, Journey Together, all these sets are just going to crash. Now, sets like Prismatic Evolutions, not so much. I don't think Prismatic Evolutions will ever hit MSRP. In fact, I'm going to make a deep dive video on that in a couple days. But here's the thing about 151, right? 151 is actually pretty old. Like, it is like the 4th set of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. You had Base, Paldea, Obsidian Flames, and then you had 151. So that's the thing. 151 is actually a pretty old set. Like, I know for a lot of people it feels fresh and it feels nice, but it's actually pretty up there in age. It's almost 2 years old. So the thing is, if you're asking yourself, should I buy now or should I wait for a reprint? Buy now. You should 100% buy. And if they do another reprint, just buy more. But the thing is, here's the thing. If they do another reprint, first of all, the stock is going to get immediately absorbed. Now, I'm able to track my local area, all the different stores that have stock, right? I know which stores have 151 mini tins or Prismatic Evolution ETBs. There was a local Big W about 30 minutes away, and they had about 300 Prismatic Evolution Elite Trainer boxes for that one store alone. And there's tons of stores. Like, I got a notification that there was going to be this Toy Mate, and they had Blooming Waters, 151 mini tins, surprise boxes, all on one day. Now, how I got this was because I'm in this Discord server called TCG Notify. And if you're in Australia and you're not in this Discord server, honestly, I have no idea what you're doing. Now, I believe it costs $12 a month. I think it's either $11 or $12 a month. But here's the thing. If you use my code SAMBOY50, you get 50% off for the first month. That's pretty good if you ask me. So make sure to use that in the checkout and you'll get 50% off. I would never advertise a product that I don't use. And I've been in that Discord server when they had 50 members. I was one of the first people to join that Discord server and I've seen the growth. You know why the growth is so useful? Is because how I know which stores have stock is because people, when they go into a store and they have stock, they'll ping everybody and say, hey, this store has stock. But what they've done recently is, because of so many members, they've actually split them through states. So I only got pings from local stores. So I'll see that my local store over here got ping, or local store over here got Blooming Waters. The amount of restocks I've gotten from this Discord server is amazing. It's honestly phenomenal. I've gotten so many restocks. So if you're trying to get Pokemon at retail, I'd so recommend joining it. But anyway, the thing is that with this Discord server, I'm able to actually track how fast this shit sells. I can see Prismatic is slowing down. I can see poster collections are surviving 1 day on being on shelves, 2 days, and some stores 3 days Prismatic Evolutions stayed on shelves. Now, there was a limit. Okay, fair enough. There was a limit of 1 per person. If there wasn't a limit, someone would just buy them all, 100%. But the fact is that you don't see that strength with Prismatic Evolutions. But with 151, oh, it's a different ball game. Every single time there's a restock, people would jump on it. I mean, Blooming Waters was a great example, right? My Toy World 5 minutes away from me got Blooming Waters. I called them and they had sold out literally within minutes. You've got to remember that Prismatic Evolutions doesn't have that level of power or that level of influence. Some Prismatic items have been on shelves for days on end. Now, they sell well and, they'll eventually sell out, sure, but you can see that 151 is selling fast. And you want to know why? Because every day that goes by, less 151 reprints are going to happen versus Prismatic Evolutions. That's the thing about 151, is that 151, everyone's aware. There's like a silence in a room, right? Where everybody knows 151 is about to blow up, but nobody really wants to talk about it because they want to accumulate as much as possible. So it's this like awkwardness where people are catching restocks. They're going around. They're like, I'll grab a restock here. I'll grab a restock there. I'll grab a restock here. And they're just waiting. And then one day it'll just take off. And then everybody will wish they bought it. The thing is, I fear that day is coming soon. Now, I hold 151, so I don't fear it. But I guess I think that day is coming soon, right? So this is the thing, 151 and Prismatic Evolutions kind of seem to be rivals. People look at them as their two rivals, like which one should you buy, Prismatic Evolutions or 151? Should you buy 151, the Nostalgia set, or should you buy Prismatic Evolution, the Hype set, with always expensive cards inside? And my response is, just buy both. One is going to go out of rotation sooner than the other. So this is the thing about restocks, right? Because we don't know if Pokemon are going to restock 151, this is something that's very interesting that happens, is that there's this gray area where you're waiting for a restock, you're waiting for a reprint, but at the same time, the further that days go by without a reprint, more and more people lose hope that there will be a reprint. And what they'll do is they'll deploy that money in 151. What I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of money ready to be deployed into 151, but they're just waiting to see if there's a restock. So let me make this in easier terms. Say you've got 100 people who are going to own 151 bundles in, say, a year, right? Let's just say you've got 100 people looking to buy 151, right? Let's just say, I'd probably say about 75% of those people are waiting for restocks. 75% of those people are waiting for reprints. And you know why? Because humans are greedy and they try to time the market. They think, all right, bundles, 151, it's a once in a lifetime set. This is like XY Evolutions. It's the first XY Evolution set where you've got like all the original Pokemon, except it's 20 times better than XY Evolutions, right? Well, here's the thing. If you get an XY Evolutions booster box, which goes for 2100 and divide by 6, then you get 350. Meaning that if these guys match XY Evolutions, these will be $350 booster bundles each. Now, they'll probably be, displays will probably be like, let's just say 4K, right? So then they'll be 4K for a display. The thing is, people are greedy, because if I told you, if I could go in the future, say 5 years, and I could say, hey, booster bundles are going to be this item that just goes up so much. you need to buy 151 booster bundles, it's going to go up by this much. Then you would go, all right, I could either wait for a reprint and wait for these booster bundles to go from $90 to say $80, or I can just buy it now and secure my position. You got to remember, the top investors, even Warren Buffett himself, they say don't time the market. Don't try to time it. Timing the market outperforms time in the market. Now, I don't want to make myself this saint, and I don't want to say that I'm this amazing, smart person, but I get that. And you know how I get that? Because I tried to time the market. When I was new to investing, I tried to time the market. When I was new to Pokemon, I tried to time it. But then now I've completely switched, and I'm like, no, Warren Buffett is completely right. It's time in the market that beats timing the market, right? So I look at this and I go, all right, you know what? Stuff it. I'm just gonna buy it and just let it go up. Like it's just gonna go up. Instead of trying to time the market when there's a reprint, when there's the Pokemon crash, just buy like a couple $100 of Pokemon a month, right? If you want to invest $3,600 a year in Pokemon, just invest $300 a month. So the thing is, once you're in the industry for long enough, then you realize trying to time the market doesn't work. So that's why maybe you should just buy it now. People will comment on my videos and say, wait for a reprint, wait for a reprint, wait for a reprint. They'll say, wait for a Prismatic Evolutions reprint, wait for this is going to go to MSRP. I look at that and I go, maybe those people are new to the hobby. I'm not just going to give shit to everybody. In fact, I'm not giving shit to anybody. I'm just saying that you can see that people who are new to the hobby, it's almost like it's a broken record. People repeat themselves in a sense. Maybe I said that 2 years ago and now I don't say it anymore, but then someone has taken my place and now they spread that word of waiting for a reprint. But then you look at sets like 151 and you go, dude, this is going to be a $500 booster bundle. Like this will be. In the future, it will be a $500 booster bundle. Dude, you can laugh at me all you want, but the thing is it will. So the thing is, why are you trying so hard to save like $10 on each booster bundle or $20 on each booster bundle? If 151 got a reprint where every single Kmart and every single card shop got like 100 booster bundles each, okay, sure, maybe it would go to $80. Maybe it would go to $70, but it's not going much lower. So let's look at the downsides versus the upside. The downside of buying it now is that it could get a reprint and it goes to $70 a booster bundle or $80 a booster bundle. The upside is that you guarantee your position before it takes off, and then it could go to $200, then $250, then $300, then $350, and it could keep going up. And this is the thing. This is a safe play. Yes, the singles aren't crazy expensive inside, but you know which set is not crazy expensive inside? XY Evolutions, and yet that is still a $2,000 booster box. Did you know that people were fire selling XY Evolution boxes and it would go for like $100? Because that's what the market it was in. But the thing is, eventually, the demand caught up with the supply and then it went up. So the thing is, you look at that and you go, all right, XY Evolutions is more of a nostalgia set, right? Now, this is more of a nostalgia set as well. Now, we can compare X and Y Evolutions to Pokemon 151 quite similarly. But the thing is, 151 has way more expensive hits inside. It is way more preferred in this market. People prefer illustration rares and all arts in this market. People will prefer illustration rares for a very long time. I don't see how Pokemon can top all arts. I don't see how they can top that. And here's the thing, that's why you can kind of see Sword and Shield was such a hit. So then they just went, all right, you guys like all arts? Let's make 50 in one set. And that's what they did for Scarlet and Violet. There's like 20 to 30. Some sets even have like, I think 50 illustration rares each, right? So the thing is, they really cranked it up because they're like, yeah, this is what you guys want. Let's do it. And now Scarlet and Violet is doing phenomenal. And then you look at Mega Evolution. And I thought to myself, okay, in this next era that's coming out, what's going to be the card rarities? And they're just copying Scarlet and Violet. They're copying it completely. So it's not really Mega Evolution. It's more just Scarlet and Violet 2.0. Because they're literally just copying it. It literally has the same name. Illustration Rare and Special Illustration Rare. It's literally the same name. So you can see that it's a hit. So this is some of the best of its time. Because you could see that Pokemon went, alright, Sword and Shield did really, really well. So we're going to crank it up. And this is the byproduct of them cranking it up. This is the byproduct. People going insane, people going ridiculous. And this is the one thing that Prismatic Evolutions doesn't have that 151 does. Is that 151 has way more illustration rares. It has way more artworks in it. Now, yes, sure, Prismatic Evolutions has 30 illustration rares. But if we're being real for a second, like 21 of them, no one gives a flying shit about, yeah? No one gives a shit about Iron Valiant, or Iron Crown, or Iron Leaves. No one cares. The thing about 151 is every single card is a slam dunk.